you mentioned financial literacy, and I'm curious to understand what is exactly financial literacy. Who is supposed to take responsibility for it? Should the institutions, the public institutions in Kuwait, be responsible to offer, let's say, information for companies or people to be more financially literate? Is it our own responsibility to learn more about it? Where do we find this information? And ultimately, do you see any gaps there? And if so, where are these gaps?
So financial literacy is honestly, yes, people are responsible to look after their own financials, but or finance knowledge. But it's also because of the new things that come up every day, because of the new things that we see in our finance. So, now with the central bank slowly rolling open banking, for example, it is the role of the financial entities to educate people. And Central Bank of Kuwait has rolled out a campaign called Diraya campaign. So the Diraya campaign is kind of a big financial literacy, and it has many pillars. And you see all of the banks always kind of advertising things around responsible borrowing, kind of even protecting your identity, protecting the card information, pins, all of that. And for us as well, about paying on time, discipline in payments. This is all comes under financial literacy. And I think it's both. The person need to know, but also the financial institution need to do more to ensure that whatever they're rolling out, whether it's buy now, pay later, or open banking, or any type of new product, that they bring the right literacy about it to the public as well. I think what we've done as part of CINET is the first thing is roll out our app and make sure that people are able to look at their full financials when it comes to borrowing financials.
So we have the CINET app.
Yes.
Okay.
So the CINET app is, it's a place where everybody can look at every single loan, credit card, any type of installments, any type of kind of something that they have to repay, whether historic, whether it's closed, whether it's currently open, they will be able to see their full profile right there. And that's offered free of charge, of course, because it's part of our financial transparency and part of our financial kind of education that you need to know more about your credit standing, your credit worthiness. When the next time you go for a bank to apply for a loan, you need to know what is in your credit report, that how are the banks evaluating you? It also shows you your credit score in real time, how your credit score have changed across the past year. It also shows you this is, I think, one of the favorites of the people is how do you stand or how do you measure across people in your age and your income as well. So if you're a person of certain age and certain income and you're borrowing, for example, 3,000, we'll tell you that people in your age and income range are borrowing, for example, an average of 5,000. So you're probably doing really good versus you might be borrowing 20 and the people are doing an average of 5.
This is actually very interesting. Now I'm going to download the app and see where I'm qualifying.
Yes, some people are happy, some people are shocked. I mean, it's a very interesting kind of reality check.
You think this is also kind of like part of your CSR, social responsibility, trying to educate people?
We're always trying to educate people to make timely payments, to show them that it's not that the bank reports that you're late. You were late before they reported you late on payments or repayments. So even our social media channels, we're always using those channels to encourage that you should, whenever you take a loan or whenever you're trying to spend, make sure that you budget ahead. Make sure that you have some kind of emergency funds. Make sure that contingency plans. Make sure that when you actually have bills, pay them on time, because every bill counts and every kind of installments of loan or credit card or even a small payment like these electronics and things that probably you won't think that 50 KD may affect my score, but it does, because it's all financial payment and behavior.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they logged in the app, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that loan, or I forgot that I was late here. And as you have that kind of looked at, and it's right there in your hand, it's easier for people to be more kind of disciplined around the payment. And this is what we're all about, ensuring financial discipline and ensuring that good borrowers get the access to the credit they get.
I also guess that your role here is not really to judge people on whether they default or not. The whole point is to help them get back on track, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of was kind of the whole gist of our latest campaign, the Mr. Score campaign. So there is this one guy in the campaign who literally breaks down crying because he was so late on his payments and he couldn't get any more loans. And then the coach or Mr. Score kind of walks him through on how to get back on track, and that you are able to fix your score. You're never going to be always red. You can go back into, yellow and then green and then slowly blue into purple, but it takes kind of baby steps to go and put yourself back on track. And what we see is a lot of people, once they know that this is going to affect their future, once they know that this credit score is going to help me get more funding, or for example, I want to buy a car in a few years, or I want to buy a house, this is where they kind of take good care of their credit. In other countries, I've seen other campaigns where they say your credit score is really your reputation. It's your financial reputation. Yeah. And in a way it is,
yes.
And the way we look at it also is behind every credit score, there is a family trying to buy a house,
yes,
or there is an entrepreneur trying to establish a business. There is somebody who's trying this financial journey. So behind this credit score, there is a lot of power to your future. And that's where we say, take good care of this credit score and your credit report.
What I'm sensing is that we have made progress. From what you're saying, there has been a lot of positive progress here locally. But I do want to know, because there is no perfection at the end of the day, is there any specific area where you still see gaps in terms of financial literacy and, maybe corrective actions that we can all take, whether institutions or ourselves, to maintain, a healthier economy overall?
I mean, we've seen, and as a bureau, we're always kind of uniquely positioned to see bigger trends, to see kind of ecosystem challenges that we have currently looked at. I mean, I remember one of the things that we've seen with small, medium enterprises. So with SMEs, we've noticed that they always struggle to get the right funding or to get the facilities that they need to grow. And it was kind of the chicken or the egg problem. They can't get funding because when they apply for a loan, they don't have a lot of history. And in order to get history, you need to get funded, or you need to get a loan to get that history.
Yes.
So what we've noticed is there is data, there is history of these small and medium enterprises, but it wasn't sitting with the banks or the lenders, it was sitting with the government. There is the KNF, the Kuwait National Fund for SMEs.
Okay.
It does give loans to entrepreneurs, and it's fully government funded. And what we've done when we noticed that gap, so it was a structural gap in the data that we had. So what we've done is sign kind of a memorandum of understanding with the KNF to bring that government data into the credit reports, into CINET. And by that, automatically all SMEs, or the SMEs that got funded from government, they will have some history. And if it's a good history, that will help them kind of get some more funding and grow further with the banks. Another thing is we developed a score that's specifically for SMEs.
Okay.
So, and aside, there is a credit score for individual, which is the score that we always market. But there is a credit score that was specifically designed just for SMEs, for banks and everybody to the lending institution to when they look at the SME, they look at the score and their probability of default and probably judge it better and not compare it to like a big corporate, because they're very niche and different market. And always people think that SMEs are the engine of an economy. And for us, we thought that because this is a very important kind of segment, and it's a very unique segment, we had to kind of jump hoops and go to the government, do a little bit of a data merging, do a little bit of a new scoring approaches, and build those to fix that gap and ensure that we do this is our role as CINET, as a credit bureau, identify the system gaps, the structural gaps, work with the regulator to amend them. And it's been a very good kind of case that we were able to bring that data from the government, and we are uniquely positioned to be able to get all of this together in one place, and we have close relationship through our regulator with the government to bring that.
I was actually just now thinking about this because I know a bit of the story with the National Fund for SME Development, and I know that they used to be super active, and they did support a lot of the agenda of the local authorities in developing the economy. But I'm thinking now, it's I wanted just to expand a bit with you here, because I think it's such a delicate aspect, right? Like if I have, let's say I start an SME and maybe things don't go that well, and I'm either the owner or the administrator. In 5 years from now, let's say in 10 years from now, if I want to try again, I don't know. First time it didn't happen, but I want to try again. My score might say chances are very high in defaulting, but maybe in these 5 to 10 years, I accumulated new knowledge. Maybe I have new partners that are going to, come along. Maybe I have a better team. Maybe I have more financial support this time. And I was curious, how do you see this? Because I feel it can't be only data, right? It can't be just data.
No, and we always say that data gives you the insights, but the ultimate decision is to the lender. A lot of the lenders also look at the potential of the company, look at the credit report of the person himself. That the business didn't go well, but there was good payment behavior. That's still a good kind of indicator that you are disciplined, but probably, the business does not go well. A lot of the kind of, when you look at someone's credit score, it reflects the past 3 years of their credit. So some of the flags in 3 years that kind of get recycled. Even the legal indicator, if somebody has a legal lawsuit, after 3 years, it is removed off your credit file, because we consider that in 3 years, if you made amends and you corrected your standing and you're doing good behavior, then there is an opportunity to start again and do kind of new lending or new opportunities.
Exactly.